¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Meow. Welcome to the Monday stream. It is Monday, unfortunately. Back to the work week. How's it going, Astro? It's almost 4:20, so I'm celebrating. And it's 4:20 somewhere, right? I'm in a good mood. That's a good thing. That's good to hear. Very late. Yeah. How's it going, everybody? But you're in London. It's so nice. It's also very hot right now. London is currently on fire, I think. I hope to visit someday. Hey, Progressive B, doing well and hope you are too. I am doing very good. I've made a lot of progress playing the game Stray. Like I said, there are rumors out there that I spend most of the or at least multitasking while working and playing Stray. I think that there are rumors that I do that. So that's a thing. How's the heat, but your heat? It is well after sundown and 23 degrees Celsius. A bit hot for sleeping, a bit hot for a lot of things. Sheesh. Who started those rumors? I have no idea. These are false allegations or unproven allegations, I'll tell you that. We have made plenty of progress in that game. That game is way too obsessive. I think I must have put already, like... I played some last night, and I think the night before, I think a total of maybe 30 hours so far. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's supposed to be a short game, so we'll see. We'll see how much more I have left to beat it. You clapped the VOD for yesterday? Yeah, I did. Yesterday didn't happen, okay? Yesterday didn't happen. Alright, folks. We've got some headlines to go through. Let's see if we can kind of stagger these around. Do you have Beccasphere today? Yeah, we do. We've got a new video. Yikes. Well, I think we need to start off this way. This is probably a good place to start. Alright, folks. This is probably a good place to start. Or reason number 555,205 billion why Republicans should never be in power. The Republican Party is incompatible with democracy, and the Republican Party needs to be defeated by whatever, means necessary in terms of like electoralism. I mean, I don't know how many alarm bells I need to be ringing at this point, but let's have a look-see, yeah? Come on.
Make America great again. But there's nothing wrong with make America great again.
Ugh.
That's the mindset that we need to have. And then there's another mindset that we need to have. And this one's very...
Okay, how do I make things louder? Because I can barely hear her. I can barely hear her, and we need to hear her. Let's see. Plug-in that makes sound louder? I don't know. Plugin that makes sound louder in Chrome? Sound booster. Okay, let's see. She's intolerable. She's not just intolerable, she's dangerous. Like, if it was somebody that's just intolerable, like, whatever, but this person is actually dangerous. So let's take a look here as soon as I can get some of that, volume up. How do I go to my thing? Jesus Christ, where is my, here we are. Sound boosters. Manage extension. No sound, no search record. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, what if I just... Marjorie Taylor, queen, girl boss. I can't believe she's in public office still. Add to Chrome. Add extension. Have you ever met a competent public official? How to use this sound booster. Marjorie Taylor cringe. True. Okay. Can I get a sound booster? Control your music. Okay. Can I get a sound boost on this one? Manage extension, sound booster. Okay, here we go. This is just a temporary. I have been training in the Himalayas. Well, howdy. Copy video address? No. Manage extension. Sound booster. Alright.
Wrong with make America great again. That's the mindset that we need to have. And then there's another mindset that we need to have. And this one's very important. I call myself a nationalist. Oh, you guys don't think it's a bad word either. As a matter of fact, it's not a bad word, because if you're a nationalist, nationalist, that means you care about your country.
Oh, holy yikes.
Which we should. Now, all of our tax dollars are hard-earned tax dollars. They should go towards our country. Isn't that right? They should go for things like our border and border security. True? They should pay for programs that affect America, not build schools and roads and border walls in other countries, right? But there's nothing wrong with Make America Great Again. That's
No
the
audio?
mindset that we need to have. And then there's another mindset that we need to have. And this one's very important. I call myself a nationalist. Oh, you guys don't think it's a bad word either. As a matter of fact, it's not a bad word because if you're...
Is there a way I can just kind of get this thing to work? No audio? What do you mean no audio?
Oh, you guys don't think it's a bad word either. As a matter of fact, it's not a bad word because if you're a nationalist, that means you care about your country. Which we should. Now, all of our tax dollars are hard-earned tax dollars. They should go towards our country. Isn't that right? They should go for things like
Anyways.
border and border security. True? They should pay for programs that affect America, not build schools and roads and border walls in other countries, right? But there's nothing wrong with Make America Great Again.
ADT is a bit low. Yeah, it's a bit low. I've tried to boost this thing, but it's not working. So we're just gonna have to so we're just gonna have to go with that. Hey Alio, how's it going? You're never gonna pass unless you bend the knee to lobbyists. I think that there's, well, obvious truth to that. Matt Gates is a guy who had allegations for soliciting minors. Yeah, Matt Gates. He's a nonce. What is this? Oh yeah, Matt Gates today. Question, is it safe to say that based off these comments you're suggesting that women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight? Matt Gates, yes. What do you say to people who think those comments are offensive? Be offended.
Ugliness, and I see that ugliness on the it's just pure ugliness, and I see that ugliness on the inside. I see it on the outside. You know, even in the horrible circumstance where an abortion may happen, it is nothing to celebrate and it is nothing to cheer.
Mm-hmm. Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
Clown.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
What a freaking clown. Okay, so I tried to boost this thing. It's not working. What if I reload this? And what if I
it's just pure.
I call myself a nationalist. Oh, you guys don't think it's a bad word either. As a matter of fact, it's not a bad word because if you're a nationalist, that means you care about your country. Which we should. Now, all of our tax dollars are hard-earned tax dollars. They should go towards our country. Isn't that right? They should go for things like our border and border security. True? They should pay for programs that affect. But there's nothing wrong with Make America Great Again. That's the mindset that we need to have.
All right, that's as much as we're going to get.
Mindset that we need to have. And this one's very important. I call myself a nationalist.
Oof. Yikes. Oh boy.
Oh, you guys don't think it's a bad word either. As a matter of fact, it's not a bad word because if you're a nationalist, that means you care about your country. Which we should. Now, all of our tax dollars are hard-earned tax dollars. They should go towards our country. Isn't that right? They should go for things like our border and border security. True? They should pay for programs that affect America, not build schools and roads and border walls in other countries, right?
Yeah, so here she's saying,
There's nothing wrong with Make America Great Again.
she's saying the
That's
quiet part out
mindset
loud,
that we need
folks.
to have. And then there's another mindset that we need to have, and this one's very important.
Okay.
I call myself a national.
They're saying the quiet part out loud. Okay. I don't know how much else, how many more red flags we need, how many more times the word nationalist, the word kind of to basically say this to basically say what I'm trying to say is the mask is off, folks. How much more explicit does it need to be? Okay. Any more would be insulting. True. MTG and Trump are such Karens. They're not Karens. They're dangerous. Like I'm trying to get people to understand that this isn't like a joke or anything like that, or they're just being Karens. No. They're not just being Karens. Okay? This party, this is at a Turning Point USA speech. This is at a Turning Point USA event, which Turning Point USA is a conservative propaganda arm or conservative. Basically, all the greatest hits tour on Turning Point USA, and it's run mostly, I think, by Charlie Kirk. So they're all like this. Okay, this is not unique or fringe, is what I'm trying to say. It's like budget, all the cards on the table, baby. True. I whispered you a fluffy. All right, we'll get to it eventually, I'm sure. Baby panda. Ah. That is cute. That is very cute. We'll keep this one in a pocket. Yeah, so what I'm trying to stress is that these people are incompatible with democracy. I mean, like, that's it. There's no other if and or buts about it. I don't know how many more red flags do people need other than they flat out saying it. I mean, and not just saying it, but being proud of it too, right? And like the worst part of it, really, like the worst part of it, really, is the crowd. The worst part of it is the crowd cheering this. It would be different if it's just like her saying something and then getting like booed off stage or something like that. But the crowd loves it. These conservatives love it. These conservatives are all in, okay? These conservatives are all in on the whole nationalist thing. It's not truly funny, but thinking everyone loves MTG and Trump is funny and strange. I mean, like, a lot of people, enough people do. That's the problem, Helio. They're going after SSRIs next? What do you mean? Like, they're gonna take that away? We don't even have access to them. Unless you have a boatload of money. Or insurance. Hey, I Like Pie. How's it going? Yeah, it's a death cult. It's a death cult. And at this point, like, you know, I don't think that I don't think that I need much more evidence than I've been presenting for, at this point, years. At this point, years, that the Republican Party is just incompatible with democracy. They're just dangerous, and they need to be defeated. the anti-vax crowd are already treating SSRIs are the same as a evil chemical abuse shit that they thought the vaccines were. Kids with depression getting tricked into taking SSRIs equals abuse. Oh man. Well, the anti-vax crowd has some pretty strong overlap with these type of quote conservatives. Yeah, it's a matter of time. I don't disagree. Let me just get rid of this. Alright. If we need it again, we'll download it again, but... That's a death cult. Trump is the same as Superman. What? Alright. Anyways. They're just saying it and very proud of it. And getting cheers from the crowd too. That's the alarming part, right? Because it's one thing if she would get booed off the stage or whatnot. But no, she's getting cheered. She's getting cheered, folks. When I heard that, I was like, what's in the water over in that rally? Oh, it's not just that rally, my friend. That's why I still watch the rallies to monitor their craziness. Yeah, I mean, like... I like the spark notes, okay? I can't stand watching the whole thing. Coherent Dreams, thank you for the follow. For some reason, I feel like I remember that username. We have our own clown show here in the UK for Prime Minister. Well, that's unfortunate. Incoherent nightmares. Someone compares Trump to Superman, and Lindell said computer voting machines are bad and that's why Trump lost. Yeah, Lindell, because of that, he's currently facing a $1 billion lawsuit. So good luck. Good luck to him. Winner Veggie, Joe needs to not run again. In an ideal scenario, in a smart scenario where the Democratic Party wants to put forth their best foot forward and wants to actually do something, yeah, the evidence is not too compelling. The evidence is not too compelling. I love this emote. This emote is great. Send in the clowns. Out with the clowns. Long live the clowns. It's a clown show, my friend. He should have not been the candidate to begin with. I mean, ideally, we would have had a good candidate that would have been popular and a candidate that would more or less, or at least attempt to represent the people. A candidate who can actually a candidate who actually listens to the necessity or to listen to the needs of the people. I was hoping to talk about long hauler COVID assistance if we could. I have no idea. You're barking up the wrong tree, my friend. You mean like access to COVID assistance? I don't even know that we have that much assistance going on right now. Sad Clown Supreme. We're all thinking it. The simulacra, how's it going? Howdy, howdy. The DNC would choose them? No. Hee. Well, this is kind of silly research now. Why? Though most presidents start off higher than they go on to be. Not like this. I don't think so. Not this high. I mean, not this low. Well, for example, I was turned down for assistance because my rent is $10.76 over the allowance. That means they pay nothing. It's based on baseline rent. Well, then that's kind of garbage, isn't it? Shouldn't any type of safety net just be universal with as little to no means testing? It would only be interesting if Confident rose. He hasn't done anything of value. Yeah, true. Save for like, I don't know, the American Rescue Plan, kind of. There was pieces of it that were good. And there were, yeah, that's pretty much it. I have long haul COVID, so I qualify under that. I'm not sure what that means. But anyways, my point is, there shouldn't be any freaking means testing to getting like a necessity. They're doing this all over the nation. What, like putting roadblocks to you getting assistance? Yeah, and it's bad. What can I say? Long haul COVID is when you have fatigue and have days. Yeah. That's long COVID. There's no disability for that, and millions of people have long COVID. I don't know the total number, my friend. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know the total number, but I agree with the fact that like I don't think we've quantified the damage, the damage of COVID. Pandemic. I guess I don't understand why his numbers are this low. I can. It's because, well, let's just say we expected more. Agave Poet, I can't wait until long COVID is a deniable pre-existing condition. Hell yeah, under this, under this system, psh. Who expected more? You should always expect more from your leadership. Always. No, always. That's the whole point. You keep pushing them. The SS, okay, you should push them anyways. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that. You know what? You're right. You should never expect anything to actually be done, but you should have a line of what, you know, they should be doing, and then you push them. Yeah, but never expect anything. They aren't here for you. There's a truth to that. I know we expected more, but he isn't doing, quote, bad things. He just can't do anything because of the Senate. It's not just the Senate. It's not just the Senate. Well, it's a hard double whammy because I do events and media. My business got shut down, so really not really has come back yet. So, for those of you that are just joining, Mono is a Brit monger, okay? I like pie. He has no bearing on this conversation. Yes, he has a roadblocked Senate, so no real much chance. Well, it's not just the Senate that's the problem, okay? The Senate is an issue in and of itself, but that's a separate problem to what's happening here. But the country needs more Dems and independents in the U.S. and Senate to counter the Republicans. Well, yeah, I mean, like, just by, like, default, just by default, like, the Republicans need to be defeated. I mean, we've got Marjorie Taylor Greene, an elected representative, and this isn't the first person to say this, either, right? Like, this isn't the first person to say this out and proud, that she's a nationalist. It all started with Donald Trump, too. He proudly declared himself a nationalist, and the crowd cheers. Marjorie Taylor Greene declares herself that nationalism isn't such a bad thing, and the crowd cheers. I believe, what was his name? Josh Hawley also said something to that to something similar, and the crowd cheers. Folks, we got a real problem. It wouldn't have been so bad if you didn't make a bunch of promises. Yeah, I agree. And now it's like, oh, but we can't. Yeah, I agree that definitely the attitude, the attitude and the way, or the lack thereof, of action is the problem. His messaging is also dog shit. That's true. They're not nationalists. They're selfish self-promoters. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, so we've got the Republican Party being completely incompatible with democracy, and then we have news like this. It's not just Americans. Public confidence in Joe Biden has slipped in many countries surveyed by Pew Research. Well, the reason for this is that we really need... That's cute. We really need action. We need something strong. And something that could perhaps put some faith... perhaps restore some faith. I think a good way to start is doing what he can about eliminating student debt. I think that's a good place to start to get people kind of back to win the faith a little bit. Would be student debt. Biden also believes in a center to return to. The America he imagines where the bad stuff will just fade away doesn't exist. I agree. Biden is about doing the actual job, but it's hard to lead unless you get out there and sell your programs. I agree with that statement. And anyways, so a way to bring back kind of faith would be student debt, because that's something that he has a little bit of kind of like overreach to. I think another one that he could do is declare climate change a national emergency and get federal funds to start addressing this program, because it's not just this crisis. It's not just addressing climate change. It's also a jobs program. It's also a jobs program opportunity. Like, there are things within his purview that he could be doing, regardless of what the Senate is doing. And unfortunately, we're not seeing anywhere near what he could do. We also have the problem where the Senate refuses, essentially, to operate as a legislative body. And it's currently under Democratic control, whether we like it or not. We have to accept the fact that, well, what are they doing? Why aren't they playing hardball like the Republicans will when it comes to getting stuff done? Because you best believe if the Republican Party comes into power again, do you think that they're gonna let a filibuster get in their way? No. You know what Mitch McConnell did? He carved an exception and rammed through the judges he wanted to anyways. Do you think that Mitch McConnell was sitting there and waiting? No. Mitch McConnell wanted judges. Mitch McConnell wanted to have the ability to get his Supreme Court. And he carved out exceptions to it, to the filibuster. I'm just saying, there are things that the Democratic Party can be doing and are not doing. But his interests lie with the oil industry and other status quo, and the status quo suits him. That's true. You all have much higher opinions of Biden's wishes than I. That's a good point. I mean, we all try to be hopeful, but the reality is, like I said, I've said this multiple times on the stream, do not expect a party to come save you. Do not expect an individual president or individual political figure to come save you. It's not happening. They're not coming to help you. That's the reality. But anyways, the hopium that I would huff on is that he would get his act together and the Democratic Party would actually start to govern. The Democratic Party would actually start deploying some muscle. So on and so forth, whatever. The ghost of Hugo Chavez did save us from Trump by getting reelected, though. That's true. There's so many facts of it. It's all about balancing. Well, firstly, presidents are not autocrats. They can promise things, but there are procedures. Secondly, Democrats have historically disappointed on policies, just as Republicans have. Real policy often happens from energy from the ground up, not from the top down. Without sounding like some old boomer, Americans need a more can-do and less can't-do attitude. The third is the landscape. It's partisan on toxic levels, so gridlock is now the default. That's me trying to be as sensible and fair to the Democrats. I can be more scathing, but I guess it's already said a million times before. I mean, sure, if you want to be like as generous as possible, but like, I'm not saying that Joe Biden can unilaterally solve everything. I hope that that's not the implication. However, there are abilities and powers that the president does have, and he doesn't use them, right? Like, if we have somebody like Donald Trump who had no problems declaring a national emergency to get his stupid wall, I think declaring a national emergency for climate change and getting some federal resources to try to address the issue, which then becomes like, hey, a possibility for a jobs program or jobs guarantee, a way to expand technology, right? That's a positive thing. I want to be realistic, but I want to push for more. Yep. No politician will save anyone. Yeah, I don't believe any politician will come here and save anybody. It seems there's a lot of jobs available, but most of all of them are readily available, do not pay a living wage. Though I thought the free market was supposed to raise pay levels on their labor shortfall. Funny how capitalism only seems to work one way. Yeah. Funny about that. Trump did not build the wall in 4 years. Well, he built like parts of it, crappy construction. My point was not the wall itself. My point was that if he had the authority to declare a national emergency at the border and repurpose federal resources for that, I believe I believe Joe Biden has then the ability to declare a national emergency regarding climate change and divert federal resources to kind of address this problem. I mean, with 81 million people for Biden, the Republicans say it's fake, so America's in bad shape. Well, Americans are in bad shape for a multitude of reasons. Kept Title 42 in place until a couple months ago. That's true. Biden is continuing to build the wall. What? Become ungovernable as a political theory. That's a good theory. That's how the French have nice things. Biden hasn't gotten back on track to normalize relations with Cuba that Obama started and Trump stopped. Yep. Trump said in Arizona rally, the country's going to hell, so his party will help. Lol. Yeah, I don't know about that. Trump had years to get rid of Roe v. Wade and failed. No, I think he did a heck of a job, Mono. He put the judges in there that did it. He put the judges that did it. I think Americans need to accept the fact that nobody's coming to save them. There's no magic one-size politician that's going to make it all better. I agree 100%. I agree that there's no one-size politician or a political party that's going to come in here and just snap their fingers and everything's going to be okay. I'm just saying, as the current governing party, the Democratic Party is lackluster and is really careening us into failure. Real change comes from the people at the bottom driving pressure to those who make decisions. That means protests and marches and organizations, unions and boycott. Yeah, I 100% agree. Oh yeah, like all of this stuff is kind of like by default needs to happen, right? I agree. Like this is kind of default, right? And accept and even compromise and acceptance of those traditionally not on the same side as you. It depends. Change is hard and it has a price. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Black Americans who struggled before 1964. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. None of this is mutually exclusive, you know? Of course, all these things are important. This should be by default, as the folks who are more of the left-leaning obviously agree with this. I think internal messaging was that they had it in the bag, and that alone should tell us that they're not serious. No, overconfident, right? Overconfident. I mean, like, the strategic blunders that were done in 2016, not to rehash that, but whatever. Just tactical error, like just political failure, like political strategic failure upon failure upon failure. But nonetheless, anyways, my point is, if the Democratic Party refuses to get its collective-ish together, we're heading into a scenario where people will accept a authoritarian alternative, right? That's the problem. I'm getting some real hardcore Weimar years vibe, and what happens is that people will people go right into the arms of authoritarianism, and these Republicans have no problems, no qualms, with no problems and no qualms. They can and will establish a theocratic authoritarian state. So I think there's some truth to that. I think there's some truth to that. Americans are constantly told on mass media to do X, Y, and Z, and problem solved. Vote for this party or that party, and we can solve things with the snap of our fingers. They're being given unrealistic expectations to drum up support. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's what politics does, regardless of how difficult it is to solve fundamental issues. Yes, if anything, listen, if you want any type of resources regarding this, you can ask James Napper. They'll give you plenty of books and plenty of suggestions regarding like resources. But I agree to expect a single political party to come save you, or to expect like a single politician to come save you, is just not realistic. And I agree that, well, yeah, like, of course, the media is going to have its part to play. And anybody that tells you that a complex issue it has one simple solution, or tries to simplify something so complex, they're just lying to you or want to sell you something. That's not much different than that. Just give me $15 and I'll fix this right now. Listen, your human rights are my bargaining chip. You need to send me money right now. I've concluded the only kind of democracy that can work is a nationwide proportional representation system. Yeah, like that's a fair it's like a parliamentary system on steroids. It's like a parliamentary system on steroids. Yeah, I agree. Anyways, so just to get back this conversation back on track, not good. Not good, okay? The idea that the Democratic Party is going to just make do with this, it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. And their failure and their incompetence at this point is at the worst type of crossroads. It is literally at the worst type of crossroads when we've got people cheering for Marjorie Taylor Greene as she proudly declares herself as a nationalist. We've got the opposition party asleep at the wheel. I think the big barrier for America, and to be honest, other democracies, I think the big barrier for America, and to be honest, other democracies now as well, is a deep division that's setting in. That often generational rift between two sides who wants different things and refuse to compromise on them because they deeply believe in them. That is the real challenge of our time, and I think in Western democracy, how do we bridge those gaps and bring people together without sacrificing liberties and identities of people? It's hard to ask people to wait it out. No, we don't have time to wait things out. And like the problem is, well, I think nationalism in and of itself is already cringe. It's already ringing alarm bells. Mono. I mean, like, already that's just no. But that's not really what she means. So yeah, of course not. I mean, she's like the America First kind of people. How do we bridge those gaps? How do we bridge those gaps and bring people together without sacrificing liberties and identities of people? It's hard to ask people to wait it out. Yeah, like I don't know, like asking people to wait it out. There's certain things that don't have that luxury. There are certain things that don't have that luxury, and like I had this argument with somebody too. Like, what do you do? Cringe, sure, I don't like it, but when you have people attached to the idea of nationhood, it's normal. Yeah, but like I think you're conflating like patriotism, right? Because like people can have like I don't know. To me, it's kind of weird, but like people have a sense of like, oh yeah, I live here. This is my country and whatever. But like, it's different than nationalism. Um, yeah, I think that's different. What she's talking about is Christian dominionism and enforcing the benefit of America overall. Right. That's what she means. Um, yeah, that's what she means. And that's what usually happens when people talk about nationalism. It always ends up the same way. Um, anyways, how do we bridge the divide? It just depends, because like there are certain things that we don't have the time for, and there are certain things that we cannot compromise over. At some point, when people are so like the other side, or like the person you're opposed to is so intolerable, like this. Wait, hold on. Oh shoot, I took it away. Anyways, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's so intolerable that she will literally take away, if she could, she would take away every the rights of people. You don't compromise with that, right? The same way as like, how do you talk to somebody who is living on an alternate plane of reality? And I don't mean like, oh, they're just kind of out there. Oh, it's just out there. I'm talking about like people who think that there's a massive scheme created by the Democratic Party that was orchestrated on a mass scale by not only the Democratic Party, foreign actors, companies like Dominion and Smartmatic, to overturn an entire election. Like, how do we talk to these people? There are certain things that you just have to have a hard line on, and usually it starts with having a basis of objective reality. Like you two, the two people that are talking need to have an understanding of like, we'll talk about it from a base of reality. Then we can talk. Definitely, there are different types of nationalism. So France, for example, it's a civic national. Yeah, but I don't consider, like, if you're talking about like patriotism, then that's different. So the idea that there's the idea for everyone under one banner of the nation and the rights of people. The Republican nationalism is basically ethnic nationalism, exclusionary nationalism. It's objective to divide and draw lines rather than unify. Yeah, but I think we're still traveling on the same line of like, that's where I cut off, right? The idea that if you want to be patriotic, kind of cringe, but whatever. And then we have nationalism, right? I think those are two separate lines. Frank Zappa talked about a secular theocracy in the 80s and people laughed at him, and yet here we are. Entertainment has replaced serious political debate and policy setting. Oh, 100%. 100%. Astrolund. I mean, like, well, at least on the social media side. Yeah. At least on the social media side, yes. I mean, the thing is, what? Jon Stewart was better quality content than most news shows? True. Would you consider moving? To where? To another country? Anywhere else money allowing. I mean, it wouldn't be out of pocket. It's things that I've considered in the past, but I would rather this place be good, and I would rather live where I am and have a good place. Where you're gonna find is that when you ask people that, they get mad pissed off that you even posted, and that's people who are anti-patriotism. There's clearly some sort of link to the home nation, though. Yeah, but like, if I didn't live here, if I lived in Costa Rica, right now, I would feel the same way, right? So it should be understandable that you're going to get a lot of patriotic people, and that's not the problem. That's not the problem. The downside of leaving the US is you become a subject of US foreign policy. Jesus, Drew. You live in a place people get attached to and justified through my place is the best. I don't view it that way. I don't think it's like my place is the best. It's like, hey, I live here and I kind of want good things. We all want good things, so let's work for that. Or we should expect that, especially in a place like the United States, right? Like, I don't have that blinder on where I say, like, my country is the best automatically by default because I live here. No. Like, I would rather explore the problems that we have. I would rather explore the problems that we have and make it better and being like, all right, well, what can we do? Yeah, like my school is the best. That used to be a thing in high school, right? I paraphrase that from a longer, better worded Michael Brooks joke. Nice. What if the problems that you have rooted? What if the problems that you have are rooted in how your nation grew, and aren't fixable? Just a hypothetical question to be clear. I think they might be fixable. I mean, in a situation where you can't do anything and things are so bad that you just have no other choice, and of course you can get the hell out of here. Let's go. If things are so bad, if things are so bad and so unfixable to the point where, like, listen, we gotta go, then so be it. You know. I'm like, so be it. Just to be clear, like, it's not gonna make or break me. But for me, I do raise an eyebrow when people are like, I want to make my country better, but the ways their country grew might not be conducive to ever getting the better that they want. That's true, but, you know, I think that there are scenarios where that might be true, I should say. I think there are scenarios where that's true, but you try to make it better in the ways that you can, right? And if it's just literally unfixable and to the point where it's just it's effed, it's done, then I mean, what else choice do you have, right? There's a word for unfixable. There's a word for an unfixable problem. It's a predicament, and we need to start using that word more often and where it fits. Fair point. My flatmate was at a uni from Iran and basically told me that he never planned on returning because he thought it was a dead country for people like him. I mean, like I said, if there is a scenario where there's just absolutely, like, checkmate, you can't do anything. It's not going to get better, and you know, there's no if, and, or buts about it. Then yeah, that's why people leave. That's you're making the scenario exactly as you describe it. That's why people leave. That's why people leave and end up, like, you know, in other places. Yeah, of course I would leave. I would leave too. I would leave too. Yeah, better isn't perfection, but it's just better. Yeah, that's all you can do. That's all you can do, really. You can do what you can within the time that you have, within the tools that you have to make things better, and that's what you should be doing. You know, I mean, there's really no other path, right? No other feasible path that manifests itself and that's possible. You do what you can within the time that you have, within the tools that you have. That's all you can do, right? Anyways, not good. Not good. Not good at all. we have a zero-sum world. If making country A better means making country B worse, then where are we? That's also not necessarily all. That's not always the choices, right? There are ways of making country A better without touching country B. Sometimes there's ways of making country A better and country B better. There are scenarios where that happens. Not if you're competing, true. True, I'm just saying that there can be. It's not enough that I succeed. My enemies must fall. Yeah, I'm just saying that there are paths where there are paths where country A makes itself better and country B is untouched, or country A makes itself better and country B is better off. Yeah. There are paths where that could happen. I'm just saying. All right. Sad. Let's move on. Yeah, just to be clear, my personal position is that the line of thinking isn't that it's lost. Yeah, I agree with you. It's that tiny bit of opium. All right. Back to doomerism, folks. All right. Check this out. That's Lake Mead, folks. Oh, here we are. Check. Oh my goodness. Stop. How do I get rid of this? Okay, there we go. In case we needed the illustration of how F things are. Just in case we haven't, like, in case we needed a visual of how F things are. I do think that people should consider more strongly methods of trying to build in conjunction while trying to work within the current system. It still feels like a lot of people are convinced that they're convinced that they can vote it better. I agree with you. I agree with you. In fact, I've said multiple times that if you think that you're just going to vote your way out of this, you would be naive. If you think that you're just going to vote, and be like, hey, everything's fixed and I just voted in the person, that's it. We did the thing. That's not how this works. Not at all. I'm saying, and I will always say this, that voting is a tool that you should not leave on the table, because the conservatives have no problem using that tool and, gaining power. And once they do, we all see the consequences of that. We all see the consequences of conservatism. It's bad, okay? But mutual aid, organizing, direct action, all these things are not mutually exclusive. These things can be built in parallel. In fact, I think oh man, let me remember. Beau of the Fifth Column was very adamant about this strategy. Beau of the Fifth Column was very adamant about this strategy. You build the system that you want in parallel, in tandem. Show people that it works. Okay, convince people. Show that it actually works. I just don't think it's sinking in for a lot of people, homie. That's why I'm here, okay? Yes, that's right. Dead bodies. I watched a YouTube video of the weekend. Over the weekend, someone spent like 5 to 10K to rent a huge crane to put a huge boat in Lake Mead, because for the big boats, at least the lake level is so low you can't just ramp them in the water like you used to. Wow. Jesus. Yikes. Is that Lake Mead? Was. We have a vast quantity of people saying all these politicians are terrible and nothing I vote for ever happens, yet still playing the game exclusively. Yeah. Tools are useful if we don't. And if we don't, trouble, not salvation. Yeah, I don't agree. I don't subscribe to the concept that if you that just voting in or thinking that you voted in the Democratic Party and now you solved the problem. No. That's not how this always works, okay? Listen, at the most I can say is that you kind of put a stopgap to the Republican Party. But that doesn't mean that you did the thing, all right? That doesn't mean that you did the thing. There still needs to be a lot of work done, and that involves getting organized, that involves mutual aid, that involves direct action. You have to, well, community build and build the systems that you want in parallel, because it's not going to happen otherwise, right? It's not going to happen. That's right. Exclamation Discord. Tools are useful, I agree. The same happened to Lake Baikal. No politician or party will save you, but we voted Trump out of power. Yeah, that's a perfect example. That's a perfect example, right? Like, it's a stopgap, right? You do what you can with the tools that you have. Sometimes that means mitigation. Sometimes that means damage control. Sometimes. I know it's a crappy system. I know that. Sometimes doing that, Alio, was the W. Sometimes doing that was the W, okay? And you've got to play with the hand you're dealt. So this is a picture of Lake Mead from 2000 to 2022, folks. This is a problem. For those of you that don't know, Lake Mead provides water to tens of millions of people. And Lake Mead also has a hydroelectric plant too. All of this is in danger. All of this is in danger with the severe drought that's been happening, and it continues to get exacerbated by climate change. That's right, the Hoover Dam. You're correct. The largest reservoir in the U.S. supplies water to millions of people across 7 states, tribal lands, in northern Mexico. It now also provides a stark illustration of climate change and a long-term drought that may be the worst in the U.S. West in 12 centuries, folks. 12 centuries. I remember them building the Hoover Dam. I bet. All right, let's move on to the next one. I think we've... Whew, look at that image. Maple Leaf Dragon. Well, we just need to make a trip out to the asteroid belt to tow an asteroid back and drop it to Lake Mead to refill it. Yeah, Futurama style. Breaking an explosion at Hoover Dam has been attributed to an attack by Caesar's Legion, and NCR official has stated. Is that true? I think I heard about an explosion, but I thought it was because it malfunctioned. Because of the low water levels. I thought that was because of low water levels that there was an issue with the Hoover Dam, but that was not recent. That was a while ago, maybe last week. I think last week there was an issue with the with the Hoover Dam because of the low water levels, but it wasn't because of a hack. I don't even know how you would do that. Is that true? He says, got him. Jesus, I'm gonna ban you. Hoover Dam explosion. Okay, let's see. This was 6 days ago. Jesus. Never underestimate my ability to remember. This happened 6 days ago. That the fire was extinguished before the Boulder Fire city department came. There's no injuries, no risk to the power system. We're investigating the cause of this fire and we'll give updates as they are available. Okay, so that was just okay, so we don't know the cause. Never mind. But something did happen. Never played Fallout New Vegas? No, I only have Fallout 4. Okay. Listen, I'm outing myself out as a non-gamer, as a non-true gamer. Okay? I'm outing myself as out as a non-true gamer. Okay, I should have gotten that. New Vegas greater than 4? Oof. Yikes. I'm getting roasted by chat for my lack of Fallout knowledge. There's actual farmland in Cali that's getting abandoned because they're having to cut down on irrigation from the Hoover Dam, and more cuts are probably on the way. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. This guy doesn't game, everybody. Listen, I am a true gamer boy, okay? Listen, gamers rise up, let's go. A transformer blew up and caught the fire, but they put it out quick. Good news that not all the transformers in Hoover Dam can be used because there's not enough water pressure in the dam to run them all, so plenty of spares for now at least. Okay. So, alright. Cool. Gotcha. He's just a boomer. Wait, that's not better. That's not better. That's not better. New Vegas was the best since the first two. I've never played the first two. I'm gonna be honest, I've only played Fallout 4. Lake Mead is filled by the snowpack in the Rocky Mountains, and that is diminishing. Yep, exactly. He's booming. That's true. I'm a booming, alright? Maybe one day I'll play like the older Fallouts, but I don't know. Fallout 4 was great. Fallout 4 was great. Those California almond crops demand huge amounts of irrigation. True. Yeah. Almond, in particular, is unnecessarily water intensive. I've only played Fallout. Boy! I've been roasted enough, okay? So I'm gonna keep that comment to myself. Let's just say I've been to a couple of warp tours myself, and we'll just leave it there. Me, I never boom. You only boom, okay, Mono? You only boom. Boom my enemies. Uh-oh. In Fallout. There we go. Alright, cute animal video, and then we'll get to the next one. Ah! Jesus. I don't know if that's gonna get me for copyright. I'm just gonna put this here. Low volume. Oh. ADT is warped. You heard it here, folks. That's true. I've been to a couple of warp tours. And I'm also warped. These are two true statements. No, panda. That's true. Free that panda. Paws and pals. There we go. Look, he's freeing himself. If only they stayed that small naturally. True. Alright, that's enough cute video. Aww. Look at those fuzz balls. Aww. Uh-oh. Is he gonna put... Oh, no! That's pretty cute. Alright. We need to focus. Hold on. We didn't even get 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 8 seconds, okay? I'll have you know. 2 minutes and 8 seconds. All right. Oh, I said that 10 seconds ago. Oh, that's right. The stream always has like a literal 10-second delay. Look them up on YouTube, but Paws and Pals, these guys. Aww, that's so cute. Aww. All right. I used to have those panda eyes working so much. Oof. I feel that. Anyways, yeah. This is kind of effed, folks. This is kind of effed. Alright, switching gears. SEC charges former GOP Representative Stephen Buyer with insider trading. So it is possible. So it is possible. Madge just positive for COVID? Yes, is breaking, well, semi-recent news. Yes, I have it here. Proof that it's possible, that laws exist. SEC charges former GOP Representative Stephen Buyer with insider trading. Former Indiana Republican Stephen Buyer has been charged with insider trading using accounts owned by his wife and longtime mistress. To hide some of the transactions the SEC announced on Monday. Buyer, who left Congress in 2011, is accused of trading non-public information he received as a consultant after he left office. Yeah, remember that second thought? Remember that second thought video that we did on how that we watched on how politicians get so wealthy? Yeah, this is like the classic example. Former rep. Let's see some stories of current reps. That's true. Why are these idiots think they're so bad at hiding things? You don't think that they check your wife's transactions? If it's fishy enough, yeah. The question is the SEC doing its job for once, or Are they punishing a player that got too big for their britches and wasn't going along with the plan? No clue. According to the civil complaint filed in the Manhattan federal court, Bayer bought more than 1.5 million in stock in two separate companies, Sprint and Navigant Consulting, based on insider information over the span of 2 years. He sold the shares of Sprint in 2018 after its merger with T-Mobile leaked for a profit of at least $107,000. Nice. He sold Navigant shares in 2019 after news became public that Navigant would be acquired by Guidehouse. An attorney for Bayer, Andrew Goldstein, told CNBC that Congressman Bayer is innocent and stock trades are lawful. He looks forward to being quickly vindicated. That's a good meme. But Maple Leaf Dragon brings up a good point. We would like to see some current representatives be brought to account. But this is just to illustrate the point that it is possible that these laws get enforced. This fool just forgot he wasn't in Congress and didn't change his trading habits. Yeah, probably. That's a good point. The buyer allegedly spread stock purchases across 7 different accounts, including 2 separate IRAs belonging to him alone, an investment account belonging to his wife, Johnny Bayer, a joint account owned by the couple, a joint account Bayer shared with his son, a joint account Bayer shared with his cousin, and 7th account owned by a woman identified as, quote, friend 1. What? Okay. According to the SEC complaint, Bayer began a romantic relationship with unidentified woman in 2006. In 2018, Bayer used this woman's IRA account to purchase more than $12,000 worth of stock in Sprint. A year later, he allegedly used her account to again buy $22,000 of stock in Navigant shortly before both companies were acquired by Bayer's consulting clients. Jesus. Pelosi, true. True. How's it going, Carpe? Hope you're doing all right. When insiders like Bayer, an attorney, a former prosecutor, and a retired congressman monetize their access to material non-public information as alleged in this case, they not only violate the federal securities law, but also undermine public trust and confidence in the fairness of our markets. Lamau. As if anybody with like 5 seconds of common sense would be like, yes, truly, we totally have faith in this totally not rigged economy. Heart's been worse. Ooh, sorry to hear that. I hope you're alright. The dude abides? Lol, no. Just give me 1,500 shares of Tesla stock and I'll be happy. Wasn't it Nancy Pelosi that, of course, we should be free to invest? This is a free country, isn't it? No. She said this is a free market, isn't it? I think. Or maybe she said both things. I don't know. I think the quote was something to the effects, something to the effects that this is a free market, isn't it? El Deuterino, if you're not into the whole brevity thing. I have no idea what that means. Did I miss something? I'm missing all the references. Yeah, today has just been L after L after L. But yeah, people with insider info is usually restricted, so it's by definition unfree, right? Like, there's no such thing as a free market. Like, the idea of a free market is a meme. No such thing. Anyways, good memes. Now, if only we could get this. with the folks currently engaging in insider trading or blatantly, obviously engaging in insider trading? Said absolutely not when asked if she gave her husband insider information. If he wait before he bought 5 million in Nvidia, puts or something a week before the $1 billion computer chip bill came out. True. We went over a video regarding that. She is definitely one of the bigger offenders, that's for sure. If only the SEC would have this much of a heavy hand when it comes to like current politicians. I mean, like, current politicians shouldn't have like the ability to be in the stock exchange or stock market anyways, like, period, full stop. But that's just me. That's just me. President Joe Manchin, Senator Joe Manchin tests positive for COVID. Joe Manchin of West Virginia said on Monday that he tested positive, which would complicate Senate's push to finish a number of priorities in the 2 weeks leading up to the August recess. Manchin, who's fully vaccinated and boosted, tweeted on Monday that he was experiencing mild symptoms from the virus. I will isolate and follow CDC guidelines as I continue to work remotely for West Virginians. On Monday afternoon, Senator Lisa Murkowski also said she had tested positive for the virus, becoming the fourth senator to report an infection in recent days. So both Murkowski and President Joe Manchin. I mean, these guys are clearly not just really good at playing the stock market, and their gains are normie losses too. Doesn't have a great taste in mouth and impression of fairness. Oh yeah. My condolences to COVID. Yeah, thoughts and prayers, everybody. Thoughts and prayers. Yeah, they should have no stake at all in anything unless they have anything they have legislative influence over, ever. Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I would even go as far as saying, like, no elected official has any ability to invest or stake, have any type of stake in the stock market or whatsoever. Folks, if you have 5 seconds, please go follow twitch.tv/carpetpacks, twitch.tv/surfermccritty. Make them have to buy index funds or something blind trust. Yeah, blind trust. It has been shown time and time again. It is too tempting to have access to the information and not use it. I agree. Elected officials should make minimum wage and no ability to make money outside of that. Well, I don't know. I think politicians should be paid like 10 times what they are, though. What? No. Whoa. I'm having whiplash. I'm having whiplash from you guys. Jesus. No. Not 10 times more. But have harder rules of conflict of interest? No, they're already paid enough. Like, the rules of conflict of interest should be as hard as possible. Yeah, you don't want them easy to bribe. I agree with that. I just don't think that it should be like 10 times. If you tie a politician's salary to minimum wage by a ratio, minimum wage will go up guaranteed. Okay, well that's an interesting concept there. The only problem is they get to vote on their own pay and ours, so it'll never happen. The Trumps are speaking turning point action in Florida. I know they need money. There's a thought to overpay politicians so they get tempted to try to steal some cookies, but the greedy ones will probably do so anyways. Yeah, but at least you limit that incentive. So I understand like what Zeoduke is saying. I just don't think that we need to pay them like 10 times more now, if that makes sense. All right, for those of you who haven't seen this, I played it earlier, so let's just replay. This is too good. If you haven't seen this already, for those of you that are just joining in.
It's just pure ugliness, and I see that ugliness on the inside. I see it on the outside. You know, even in the horrible circumstance where an abortion may happen, it is nothing to celebrate and it is nothing to cheer.
Mm-hmm. Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended. Mm-hmm. It's just pure.
Yeah, Matt Gates, everybody. It's like your pilots. You don't want them. I don't want them paid minimum wage for a pilot. I want them to be well rested in a good place. No minimum wage people in vital jobs. Yeah, but like you're making the assumption that like the people who do like the other jobs, you know, like I don't know. I feel like has like a yeah, the idea of minimum wage should be livable for everybody, right? Currently, not so. I see the ugliness inside you, my dude. Oh yeah, this guy's not only like a bad human being, not only has bad politics, but is also allegedly has trafficked minors. Cap CEO pay at 10 times the lowest salary by company and watch for the problem solve itself. That's an interesting concept. Look at him. What is with his hair? Who is he to say? Eliminate mortgages and rent by law for starters. That would be nice. Imagine a world. That's why I think politicians should make only that, because they truly livable. They wouldn't have room to complain. I mean, yeah, but you also want to make sure that minimum wage is enough for everybody to be good, right? That's why I think, yeah, eliminate mortgages and rent by law for starters. That is the UBI. The UBI concept, depending on how you deploy it, can work. There is a scenario. There is a scenario where UBI might work, but it just doesn't. It's not a silver bullet, right? I think it could alleviate some of the issues, but it may present others that we may not fully see down the road. But anyways, it's possible that there is a scenario where UBI gets deployed that is good. Guaranteeing essential needs as human rights is more valuable. Yeah, I mean, like in an ideal scenario, you would just have these things like food, housing, education, and healthcare. You would have these things as a baseline by default. I'm just saying it degrees, you know, like if it was between the system that we have now and a well deployed UBI, I mean, obviously I'm going to choose that. But ideally, in a nice scenario, in a perfect scenario that I would love to live in, food, housing, education, and healthcare would just be like a universal like baseline, right? I mean, of course, it's not going to tempt people to run for office. We need brightest and the best running. Yeah, but I don't think like it's like that either. I don't think the mentality is like that. Yeah, the people who are motivated and like for motivated like this whatsoever, it shouldn't be in politics whatsoever. The whole point of politics is to serve. Um, is to serve. UBI should be a transition to regulating that private industry from paying UBI should be a transition to regulating that private industry paying living wages with benefits. I mean, like I said, there is a world where I could see a UBI being good. I just don't think it's the cat end all be all. I agree. There could be a world where instead of investing hundreds of billions of dollars in the military, we could have a universal healthcare system. We could have a universal education system, housing. UK MP wages are 80K. Once you become an MP, can you really relate to normal people's struggles? Some can, sometimes. I think there are scenarios where I think there are scenarios where being a elected representative, you don't lose touch, right? I think that there are scenarios where that happens. The second you're on 80K, you ain't seen the same struggles that I am. That's true. I won't dispute that. You'll be put in a position that is different. It is possible that you may lose touch. But I don't know. It just depends. It depends on the person. It's not a matter of incentivizing people to hold political office, but if it doesn't pay, then like unpaid wages, only the wealthy will do it. Yeah. In my opinion, MP wages should be somewhere reasonably average. Greenland hit with unusually extensive melting of ice sheets, boosting sea levels, scientists say. It's getting hotter in Greenland, and last weekend temperatures rose enough to cause 18 billion tons of the country's ice sheet to melt over 3 days, folks. Jesus. That's not good. That's not good at all. Underlying it is that there are costs involved in starting up. Yeah, that's true. Scientists have warned about the fate of Greenland's ice sheet and say what happened between July 15 and 17 is the latest mass melting event, contributing to an increase in the global sea level. The amount of water from the melt, about 6 billion tons a day, or 18 billion tons over the weekend, is enough to cover West Virginia in a foot of water, 4 inches per day. I think that's When was this Greenland story? 15 years ago? No. I would love to see our current politicians walk over hot coals. I just don't think it will work out for the long term. This story was not too long ago. And there it is. Because Greenland had this problem 15 years ago. Much of the melting came from North Greenland because the warm air drifted over from the Canadian Arctic archipelago. There's also a high-pressure dome over Greenland. Together, they created an unusually extensive melt event. Temperatures vary over Greenland, but the coldest temperatures in areas of high elevation towards the center of the ice sheet, said William Lipscomb, a senior scientist in the National Center for Atmospheric Research, Climate, and Global Dynamics Laboratory. Once temperatures are above freezing or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the melting begins. Temperatures last weekend were around 60 degrees, Jesus, or 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of year. In recent years, we've seen a lot of heat waves in Greenland. This recent warming of it being one example. Any temperature above freezing can cause some surface melting. Oh yeah, this is what you're referencing, Maple Leaf Dragon. Light bulb, import ice from Greenland to supplement freshwater reserves. Some surface melting, which leads to massive unrecorded internal melting. Yep. In the late 1980s and 1990, Greenland, a melt event of this sort never occurred, but starting in the 2000s, especially in 2010, which I think is what Maple Leaf Dragon is referencing, the melting has been more extensive. The melt is 2 times larger than normal, said Javier Fetweiss of the University of Liège. Fetweiss, a polar researcher, created a model scientists used along with satellite data to study Greenland's changes. The melt is among the 2 largest melts in the ice sheet's history. After 2012 and 2019 melting events in 2019, the runoff was about 527 billion tons. So far, the total melt is far below 2019 levels, but the situation is more dire over the Svalbard ice caps at the north of Norway. Yeah. Not good, folks. Not good. As things continue to deteriorate, we've got nothing, no sense of urgency, no legitimate action to address this issue, no meaningful plan whatsoever put forth. And so here we are. It just continues. By this logic, I should give my local MP another 50. I've clearly been selfish. True. Svalbard is where one of the seed vaults is, so yikes. Oof. Level head back from the DMV? What? Like the global seed vaults? Jesus. The Seed Guard safeguards duplicates of 1,145,693 seed varieties from almost every country in the world, with room for millions more. Its purpose is to back up a gene bank collections to secure the foundation of our future food supply. Well, forwarded a bunch of dudes' Twitter comments into someone with a much bigger platform than me. Nice. It ended up in him getting booted from the Conservative Party. Probably for the better. Anyways, not good, folks. Not good. If the World Seed Bank is threatened, Jesus. At first, I felt pretty bad, but he did it to himself. Jesus. It's 4 p.m. here, and it's still 99 degrees outside. Jesus. That is hot. 3 to 5 p.m. is usually the hottest time to die. I agree. They chose Svalbard because it was supposed to be one of the most stable places on the planet to cold store seeds. Yeah, and yet here we are. Well, that sucks. And that is incredibly worrying. And should be ringing multiple alarm bells. For the first time, my tap water is always hot between 1 to 4 p.m. no matter what. Jesus. Just like the nuclear repository they wanted to build in Nevada. Whoopsies. Yep. Climate change comes for all of us. That's just horrible. I'm gonna steal and eat the Svalbard's fault seeds. Imagine being like 4 p.m. and 99 degrees outside. Jesus. Let's talk about this. Trump deleted a line about prosecuting January 6 rioters from speech. Nice. Former President Trump removed the line directing the Justice Department to prosecute January 6 rioters from a speech he delivered the day after the attack on the Capitol, the insurrection. According to a copy of the draft of his remarks with his handwritten notes released by Monday by the House Select Committee probing the insurrection. Representative Elena Luria, a Democrat from Virginia who led the questioning for last week's hearing with Representative Adam Kinzinger, shared a video of her to her Twitter feed that includes recorded testimony from former White House aides, including Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, and a document titled Remarks on National Healing. It took more than 24 hours for President Trump to address the nation again after his Rose Garden video on January 6, which he affectionately told his followers to go home in peace. There were more things he was unwilling to say. And here is the actual copy. Is this like the one document that survived? No. No. This is just an example. I heard a rumor that he ate the notes from the Putin one from the translator. You will pay. Zeoduke with the tier 1 sub. This just came up. Ooh. For 16 months. Imagine that. 16 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. When asked about the document, Ivanka Trump told the committee investigators it appeared to be a copy of the draft remarks for Trump to deliver on January 7th and identified edits as written in her father's handwriting. Yeah, the draft remarks included a line that Trump crossed out in the black marker. I'm directing the Department of Justice to ensure that all lawbreakers are prosecuted to the full extent of the law. We must send a clear message, not with mercy, but with justice. Legal consequences must be swift and firm. Yeah, he was never going to do that. The paragraph follows with the line, I want to be very clear, you do not represent me, you do not represent our movement. Also crossed out. Trump edited a third sentence, which initially read, and if you broke the law, you belong in jail, to instead say, if you broke the law, you will pay. Yeah. Cassidy Hutchinson, a top aide to the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, said the White House staff talked about the need for Trump to address the violence in order to tamp down the talks about the cabinet invoking the 25th Amendment. Like, it is wild that they had to take this long to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove him from office or his impeachment, according to the testimony to the committee. The primary reason that I heard, other than, we did not do enough on the 6th, we need to get a stronger message out there and condemn this, otherwise this will be your legacy. The second reason was that think about what might happen in the final 15 days of your presidency. If we don't do this, there's already talks about invoking the 25th Amendment. You need this as cover. So, like, he doesn't even mean any of this crap. He doesn't mean any of this crap. He didn't want to do any of this. He was just being threatened with the 25th Amendment. Interesting, he chopped off the you belong in jail part, given how quickly he was to say to other people that belong there. That's true. I showed on my stream part of the behind the scenes in January 7th, the 25th Amendment speech.
Hey guys, welcome to Forward. We're a new type of doctor's office.
Oh my God.
We obtained the never-before-seen raw footage of the president recording his address to the nation that day on January 7th, more than 24 hours after the last time he had addressed the nation from the Rose Garden. Let's take a look.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Jesus. Is this how all YouTubers do her, Is this how all YouTubers do their videos? Dude was probably mad he had to stop tweeting or something. True. This video, he can't even talk? Really? Is this how YouTubers work? F it, we'll do it live.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. You do not represent our movement. You do not represent our country. And if you broke the law, you can't say that. I'm not going. I already said you will pay. The demonstration.
Oh my God. Oh man. No, this is serious. All right, serious. The reality is this guy didn't even want to do this. He actually supported what was going on, the insurrection. In fact, he believed it to be his Hail Mary, to staying in power. And it failed. You made me stop shitposting to do this. F you, Kushner. He's like a toddler. Yep.
Demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defied the seat of justice. It's defiled, right? So I can't see it very well. Okay,
Oh my.
I'll do.
This is how I record YouTube videos. Okay. I don't want it.
Do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just.
Oh my God. I came here because of your suggestion. I had to wait 10 minutes to chat though. Hey, Levelhead, how's it going? We just got like a back-to-back follow from a troll. But welcome. You got a 10-minute wait time on? I do. I didn't put that wait time on. Yeah, I get it. These, yeah, these MFs. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, do I have follow mode on? When enabled, viewers must follow you for the specific amount of time before they're allowed to post messages. What? There we go. I took that off. Yeah, I took that off. Okie doke. Good if you have a hate raid. Yeah, but I have a specific tactic for that. And I've got I've got a bot for that. I've got 2 bots for that, actually. I remember then the US Army channel had a 30-day follower mod on. Jesus. My bad. I didn't know. Oh yeah, look. I can make it 3 months if I wanted to. No, I'm gonna take this off. Alright. Sorry about that. There we go. It's good if you got a hate raid. Yeah, I've been banned from the US Army channel for asking them what they thought about the Iran air flight. Oh, no. Oh, man.
I just want to say, Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
What a clown.
But Congress is certain. Now Congress is
Yeah, right.
Now Congress
I didn't say over, so let me see. Go to the paragraph before. Okay? I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me.
Okay.
Just take it out. The heinous attack.
Good. Take the word yesterday, because it doesn't work with the heinous attack on our country. Say on our country. Want to say that?
No, keep it.
My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote.
He can't say it. He can't do it.
On January.
So my son got me this weird new tool for.
Oi. I wonder how many outtakes there were. No clue. The saddest part about this is they couldn't just write his own statement. Yeah, he didn't want to. This is the only streamer on Twitch that doesn't use an ad blocker. True. One day I'll put it on. Yellow King, how's it going? Yeah, writing you have to go to school for. True. The video shared by Luria closes with testimony from John McEntee, former director of Presidential Personnel Office, who told the committee that Kushner asked him to nudge Trump along to deliver the remarks. This guy had to be asked and begged to make a statement. Like, he obviously wanted this to happen. He was fine with it. He was fine with the insurrection. Asked whether the implication was that former President Trump was reluctant to give the speech, McEntee said it was based on the fact that somebody had to tell me to nudge it along. Yeah. The testimony and document disclosed by Luria comes after the committee completed a tranche of hearings on Thursday when it held its 8th public proceeding focusing on the 187 minutes of inaction from Trump as the insurrection raged at the Capitol. The panel showed during the hearing outtakes Trump rehearsing a statement for January 7th, which included footage of him saying, "I don't want to say the election is over." Yeah, we went over that. A number of former president's aides urged him to take action to quell the violence at the Capitol, according to the testimony revealed by the committee, though he ultimately posted a tweet with recorded remarks taped in the Rose Garden, repeated his baseless claim that the election was rigged and telling rioters that they were very, very special. I love you all. But they should return to their homes. Props for not using an ad blocker. To be fair, I'm in that niche too. Congress has certified the election, but it's not over. How can you think those two thoughts at the same time? Because, well, it doesn't have to make sense. It would have taken him less time than it took him to get through whatever someone else wrote. I guess that's true. But yeah, that's the point. Mono, I don't want it. I gotta take it on July 4th. Aw, boo. I can't pay it at the DMV, not at the clerk and recorder's office, not at the court. So what the F? Man, that's some BS. Jesus. That's some BS. I mean, do they want their money or not? Jeez. You can't pay the ticket at the DMV, not at the clerk, not at the recorder's office, not at the court clerk. That's wild. Sorry, I'm related. Just had to vent. No problem. All right. Let's see. We got, I think we did this one. We did this one. We got the climate recap.
Are we underestimating climate change-induced extreme rainfalls? And how much does the oil industry make in pure profits every year? Welcome to the Climate Recap.
Need to make that happen.
Your go
Send an email to the state treasurer that you want to give the money, but you can't watch these things happen. It's wild. Yeah, I've never seen that like before. Where it's, I mean, I understand that getting through like things are sometimes unnecessarily complex, but geez, like, do they want their money or not?
Go-to place for international and US-based climate news. I'm Becky Hoke, a science writer. Today is Monday, July 25th. Let's jump right into the news you need to start your day. Let's start with some extreme weather events. China's heat wave continues this week, mainly for the coastal communities.
Jeez. There's like massive heat waves everywhere. Yikes. Just to give a 5-second shout out here, if you haven't already, go to the link, do the link, and then click the follow button or sub button. Yeah. Yeah, the planet is just a rolling heat wave. Yeah, it's just like a dome of heat.
Keeping an eye on their dams as glaciers continue to melt. There will be accelerated glacier melt until Friday, and everyone's eyeing the power grid. The European heatwave is moving eastward into Poland, Greece, Italy, and Slovenia, though it's still impacting countries like Spain and Portugal. Wildfire.
I was talking to Becky in her chat today. She seems pretty chill. Oh yeah, 100%. She's pretty chill. No, sir, it's cold in my fridge. Yeah, she's chill. Y'all should follow, by the way. Help her get to 50. There will be a crossover happening, folks. So stay tuned. There will be a crossover between these channels. Okay?
Fires are following the heat wave. Greece saw 390 forest fires in a week, with a large one being near Athens. Meanwhile,
Jesus.
Poland is fighting one near Brzesko, and Italy has a fire near several cities, including Tuscany and Bologna. 14 cities in Italy face the country's highest heat advisory on Friday. And in Slovenia, 400 people had to evacuate their homes due to wildfire risk. Over in the US, the heat wave continues in much of the East Coast and the South, with many places reaching at or above 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 37.8 degrees Celsius.
True, it snowed here once 7 years ago and a half, for half an hour. That means the planet is cooling. True. Proof, undisputable proof.
Washington, D.C. reached 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 41 degrees Celsius on Thursday. What's scary is that hot days are feedback loops through the use of air conditioning because it results in more emissions directly and through additional grid use. ACs also will cause worse air pollution in areas readily used. But not using the AC can mean death, so obviously keep doing what you're doing to stay cool. But investing in heat pumps or passive home renovation in the future might be a good idea to stay safe sustainably in the future. And new NASA photos show Lake Mead is at its lowest point since 1937. The lake was made off of the Colorado River using the Hoover Dam. 1937 was when the lake was first filled. As of July 18th, the lake is at 27% capacity. This is part of the West being in the worst drought it's been in 1,200 years. Snow is falling as rain in the mountains because winters are so warm, leading to little runoff by the summer. Lake Mead provides essential energy and water supply for 25 million people in several western states. Now for a climate study. One of the reasons we started calling it climate change more than global warming is because people only thought of the heat and drought. But flooding and extreme rainfall is more and more a threat, as we're finding out. A recent Yale study found that climate modeling might underestimate how bad and frequent these extreme rainfalls are going to get. They already seem to be ahead of predictions, which is why the researcher wanted to look into it. One missing piece he looked at was something called precipitation efficiency, which is how much of the falling raindrop re-evaporates into the atmosphere before it hits the ground. Research and observation have shown climate change is increasing precipitation efficiency, so the study only looked at climate models that calculated the increase. The average of those studies came back with a possible twofold increase in the volume of extreme rainfall in the 21st century compared with what all climate models average had indicated. This accurately explains why we keep being so surprised about how bad these rainfalls and flood events are. So sometimes the average of all studies is not always the best. I've got a little climate victory story for you. The electric bus builder Reborn Electric Motor just started constructing a factory in the world's top copper producer, Chile. The company expects the factory to produce 200 buses a year. This will hopefully help the country decarbonize its transport sector to head towards net zero emissions by 2050. Time for 2 climate fails. A new analysis hot off the press just determines that the oil and gas industry has delivered
if we're in a solar minimum and still getting hotter, that's double bad. True, I never considered this, but there is a bank of the outside. There is a bank of the outside AC unit / compressor outside my house, and when it's hot out, the wave of the heat coming off them is ridiculous, like an oven. Yep. It's not just the extra use, but the heat outside makes the existing heat island affect urban areas even worse. 100. 100. Too bad we're destroying all the plants. True. My favorite senator is a senator with the snowball. Yeah. How else could Becky report so calmly about planetary devastation if she wasn't chill? Yeah, I guess that's one thing that that we have in common. The way we do things. Like we're talking about clearly like dark crises that are happening. I mean, we just went over freaking Marjorie Taylor Greene proudly declaring herself a nationalist as the crowd cheers and whatnot. I hate planetary destruction. I mean, you gotta have a head for it because it does get to you. I'm not even gonna front.
$2.8 billion or 2.3 billion pounds daily in pure profit for the last 50 years. That's an average of $1 trillion a year, and overall that's $15.2 trillion from 1969 to 2020. It's the money they use to buy every politician and legal system, run greenwashed ads, pay off legal troubles, and buy new permits. The analysis, based on the World Bank data, hasn't been published yet, but has already been deemed accurate by the University College London, the London School of Economics, and the think tank Carbon Tracker, according to The Guardian. It's likely the first long-term assessment of the sector's profits, which is crazy to me. The reviewers have called these numbers staggering. The nice thing about buying politicians is that they make the rent cheaper or without any requirements. 86% of this surplus has been attributed to oil rent. The lead author of the study says that, quote, it's real pure profit. They captured 1% of all the wealth in the world without doing anything for it. He added, quote, it's really stripping money from the alternatives. In every country, people have so much difficulty just to pay the gas and electricity bills and oil or petrol bill, and we don't have money left over.
Wow, it's like if you say, listen, chat, if you say the Beckosphere's name 3 times, she appears in chat. Okay? That's how it works. How's it going? How's it going?
Over to invest in renewables. The peak for profits was 2007 to 2014, specifically 2011 when they made $2.7 trillion.
Also, it is true. The mindset does take practice. It's true. How's it going? Howdy.
From 2014 to 2015, it substantially dropped from $2.1 trillion to $1 trillion when the Paris Climate Accord was signed. It has fluctuated since then, being at $0.8 trillion in 2020. I think it's going back up, unfortunately, but we'll have to wait and see for the numbers to come in. Okay, I normally don't share too much about like species and stuff, but this one's kind of personal. Monarch butterflies were just placed on the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List of Threatened Species.
Jesus.
This is super disheartening because they just saw a resurgence earlier this year. The western monarch's population has dropped by an estimated 99.9% between the 1980s and 2021.
Holy
the eastern
yikes.
monarchs, which represents most of the North American population, dropped by 84% from 1996 to 2014. Monarch butterflies are such cool creatures because they travel thousands of miles north over a few generations and all the way back in one generation. That means some individual butterflies fly 2,500 miles. Their demise is mainly due to an industrial use of the herbicide Roundup and climate change making weather events more extreme.
Jesus freaking
Some
Christ.
change in dispersal has occurred, but scientists worry it's temporary. If you want to help the species and you live in North America, grow milkweed and other native plants and stop using Roundup. Also advocate for sustainable agriculture practices. Let's stay in the US for one more climate victory to end today's episode. The Environmental Protection Agency announced local tribes in Washington State will get $50 million from the federal bipartisan infrastructure bill to restore
unfortunately, it's like the massive extinctions that are happening currently. That's just one more to the tally. Yeah, it's a tragic story on all fronts. Sort of cross-pollinating with my background, there has also been monarch butterfly defenders getting iced. Yikes. Yeah, glyphosate. Yep, that's what it is. That's what's in Roundup. Like, by the way, my girlfriend brought up a point like a couple of weeks ago. She was like, "What? Wasn't this the same thing? Wasn't this the same thing that was found like to give like a cancer?" And like, wasn't there a whole big deal about this thing? And like, it's still being sold. It's still freaking being sold, and not like not only is it economically damaging, but it's just bad. There's a monarch butterfly sort of sanctuary near where I live. Not so many butterflies there anymore. That's just disheartening. Second monarch butterfly sanctuary worker found murdered. Yikes. Gomez himself was locked up but helped his lead community toward a more sustainable economic path in which they would protect the monarch butterflies and attract tourists instead. Wow. I don't usually cover species stuff because it makes me especially sad. Yep. Things that are often bad for the environment are often bad for us as well. Yeah. Alio, the 10 biddies, thank you so much. Rachel Carson would be devastated to know where we are now. True. I'm just waiting for glyphosate being the new Agent Orange. We thought was harmless, but only for a little bit to find out that it was more horrible than we thought. But corporations gotta make money somehow. That's true. Yep, it's all about the almighty dollar. My town's mascot is the monarch butterfly. Nice. Did they just put did they just have to put a warning level or warning label on it rather than they couldn't use it forever? I don't know. I thought it was a big like lawsuit back in the I want to say 90s to 2000s. But somehow they're still allowed to use sell it. I mean, like, there are alternatives. Like, you don't need to use glyphosate. Oh, yeah, glyphosate was known to be super toxic, but it was deemed unnecessary for global food production because Monsanto. Yep. They keep finding unintended consequences when they thought they were masters of chemistry and biology at the same time. Yep. My town mascot is a big ol' rifle. What? Cringe. It's very sad, but we're melting glaciers, and I hate glaciers, so it's possible to say whether this is good or bad. Yeah, give it a couple days. Give it a decade. Yeah, give it a couple decades. Maybe 1 or 2 decades. We'll see, right?
To the Northeast Indian Fisheries Commission, which supports 20 treaty tribes. This doubles the federal support the tribes previously had to conserve and restore the estuarine ecosystem. That involves infrastructure updates, water
Oh, that makes sense. Lauren Boebert land. Okay. I'm sorry.
tests, monitoring, building climate resiliency, and working with commercial fisheries. And that was your climate recap for Monday, July 25th. If you like the work I do, please follow this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, leave a review, and consider checking out the Beckosphere Climate Corner YouTube channel. And don't forget, I'm on Twitch at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time today. Remember to talk about the climate crisis every single day and to support your local news organizations.
Do it. Do it. Do the thing, guys. All right. Oop. All right, folks. Let's head on over quickly to Florida. So we started off the show today talking about how Marjorie Taylor Greene was incredibly, was met with applause when she was like, nationalism isn't a bad word, and nationalism is good, you know? Oh, the comedy segment, yeah. So, to circle back, no, this is not. This is not the 20s. This is Florida, 2022. This is Florida in 2022, folks. We got free speech. The group has one woman. Fuck you. Yeah, like, listen, the guise of free speech, yeah. Oh, there's a Nazi woman, that's right. Yeah, the guy under the guise of free speech, listen, these people should be probably, like, stamped out. Like, there's no place for this. There's no bridge for this. That one dude works out in a vest. We get it, bro. You hit the gym. There's no room for people to be like, yeah, let's talk with these people. No. No. They seem to be able to breathe through their mask just fine. That's right. I guess this whole mask thing suffocating me was just a lie, of course. Who doesn't love open association between neo-Nazis and the right-wing youth? Turning Point USA. That's right. These are in support, by the way, in front of the whole, like, I think it was that event for Ron DeSantis. Yeah. Yeah, and the police protecting them. Yep. Anyways, so yeah, there's no compromising with this. At some point you have to, draw the line when people are so intolerant, like these folks. There's just no room for them, in terms of them having the ability to have any power, politically whatsoever. Yeah, of course. It's always to bring back the whole anti-Semitism thing, Mono. It's a tool to bring it back to the whole anti-Semitism thing.
You should be ashamed for not liking free speech.
You should be ashamed for not wanting to tolerate frickin' Nazis. Like, honestly, nah. Get effed. Yeah, and with no history being taught in schools, yeah, like the and whatever history is like, the emphasis on the right things aren't being done. Because, like, I don't know about you, but I see some really, really disturbing parallels, and I've been talking about this since years at this point. In fact, I even showed you guys a video that I did as early as 2019, which is 2 years ago. No, wait, I can count. 3 years ago, about the whole like fascist thing and the whole uncanny parallels as to how this thing or how authoritarian types come to be, right? And unfortunately, part of the equation is a insignificant or weak opposition. We find ourselves at a crossroads where people aren't doing great, right? The economy is not doing great. We have a government that is completely inoperable. The government sucks at this point, and has been for decades. People are suffering, and now we've got the added variable of the pandemic, which caused a lot of problems, both economically, health, and whatnot. And the problem is, at this point in time, at this crossroads, is where we need good leadership, where we need good government, where we need, for once, the government to do its actual job. Yeah. History doesn't always repeat itself, but sometimes it rhymes, I agree. And conservatives working to keep it that way with their attacks on CRT, right, or whatever they deem it to be. In 2022, folks, in 2022, we've got literal freaking Nazis marching down in support of Governor DeSantis, or outside the conservative rally, the TPUSA event, or whatever. Literal Nazis. And like a couple weeks ago, last month too, we had Patriot Front fascists just casually parading outside. Like it's all good. The same goes for, to bring it back full circle, Marjorie Taylor Greene, to applauses saying that nationalism is good. And it all started with Trump. I mean, I played a clip of him in that video of him saying, "I'm a nationalist." All this stuff just comes together full circle to make my statement, and I can't stress this enough. The Republican Party, conservatism just needs to be stamped out. The Republican Party is incompatible with democracy, and this idea that they're for free speech and they just want freedom and all this other stuff. They actually mean the opposite of that. Hey, the elections in Florida are coming up. Got to get all the people properly represented in the party. That's true. You got to get all the proper Republican representation. That's true. I forgot about that. You make a great point. Jesus. Gross. Gross. Anyways, modern day Republicans, modern day Republican Party. Has anybody heard a peep from Governor DeSantis? Yeah, this was outside the Tampa Convention and the Turning Point USA event. Has Governor DeSantis said anything? Let's do a quick check. I always meant to read The Handmaid's Tale, but back when I first meant to was purely as entertainment. Now I'm finally going to read it, but this time more of a historical point of view, perhaps. Hope it doesn't parallel our present too much. It's already on its way. It's already on its way. Most of the governor, the actual governor, Twitter account has said absolutely nothing in regards to this. Let's see his actual account. Yeah, clearly Antifa actors. True. Or feds, yeah. Bojack, how's it going? Nothing. July 20th. We're going as far as July 20th, talking about the border crisis, of course. Most of the online Nazoids are calling them feds, which is comical because they all egg each other to do that. Yeah, like, you would think that they would actually be happy, right? But, you know, whatever. When it finally happens, they just call each other feds. That's wild. Completely, they should speak to professionals and seek professional help. Nothing. Both the official Florida governor Twitter account and the personal account of Ron DeSantis, not a peep. Not a peep. Which is very telling. Which is very, very telling. For good reason. Yeah, for good reason the feds are infiltrated. I'm glad they're paranoid like that. It'll make it harder for them to organize. Yeah, I guess, but I mean... Oh yeah, sorry folks. I mean... Here, you can actually check out his Twitter profile. Here we go. Shook, you should be. This is being normalized, folks. This isn't being condemned. There's no, like, strong statement being like, hey, get these people out of here. They don't belong here. Nothing. He has to give it just enough time for the right-wing media to spin it positive, and then he'll come out and respond. I mean... When was this? Horrifying to see these earlier today. This was done the 23rd. This was 2 days ago. This was on Friday. Sorry, 3 days ago. This was on Friday. Nothing. July 20th. Crying about the border. Leftist state, known leftist state, California. Of course, just July 19th, July 18th, July 18th. July 17th, July 18th, July 16th, July 15th, July 14th. I mean, nothing. Nothing. Yeah, you go out there and you tell them to F off. This is the official governor account. 3 hours ago, 24th. This happened on the 23rd, okay? July 23rd, he's talking about fentanyl. If I can say in my country this Nazi shit would be canceled and beaten in a video game, Jesus. July 22nd, crying about Cuba. Like, wait, hold on. What? The communist regime in Cuba has cooked up a new scheme asking U.S. residents for private sector investment. Wait, so do you or do you not want the capitalism, okay, in Cuba? Hero DeSantis stands down to a group of Nazi thugs. Yeah, right. Anyways, you can't simultaneously cry about Cuba being a authoritarian regime and then simultaneously be like, no private investor, no privatization of anything. We don't want anything to do with that. Like, we don't want the capitalisms to happen. There's been a string of videos where cops claim they've gotten fent overdose from airborne or single touches. Yeah, I've seen that. There's been a whole good meme going around about that. There's been a while since that meme has gone around. I've seen a few of those. Dude, I don't even know if that's like biologically feasible. Anyways, July 22nd. So we're already past the 23rd. We're taking care of our retired canines. Border crisis, July 20th. July 19th, July 19th. July 18th. July 17th. July 15th. I mean, the CPAC stage was, the Othala rune, but I think you've gone past where it actually happened. Yeah, I'm making a point. I'm making a point. Oda rune, thank you. Yeah, they want the capitalisms, but the government has to be overthrown first so the U.S. looks better. Time for some good old foreign policy, right? Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not personally convinced on that one. Could have been a coincidence, yeah, but it's like maybe, but there are so many of these little things that start to add up that it starts to become hard to identify which one is just a coincidence. But like, you don't even need that incident. You don't even need the stage shape in that rune to kind of paint the picture, right? You don't even need that incident. You can just even without that incident, I mean, hello, we've got literal freaking Nazis marching on the outside of the CPAC event, and it's just I'm clearly not a single word. Not a single word from the freaking governor. When literal TPUSA event, which is like the quintessential conservative event that all big name conservatives go to, You've got literal Nazis freaking marching in that event, like outside that event, and not a peep. I think that's I don't need the stage at CPAC shaped like a certain rune. Yeah, Toilet Paper USA. I don't need that as my what is it, as my kill shot to link these things, right? I at the beginning of the stream, I literally played Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that, you know, we should accept, we should be okay with nationalism. We should be okay with nationalism. It could be a coincidence, and when they asked to announce it, instead they stayed silent. Yeah, I mean, this right here, this event. It's yeah, I agree with you, Echo Resto. It's definitely in the party, and the party, the Republican Party, is definitely not too shy about it. That's the problem. TP came over to the UK and basically got laughed out of everywhere they went. Good. That's what should be happening here. That's what should be happening here at every event. They should be laughed off this you know, but that, unfortunately, now they are the Republican Party. Unfortunately, they are the Republican Party. All this, that is the Republican Party. Like, you think that that's some fringe elements until you start seeing, like, the patterns all comes full circle. Yeah, like, the idea that the Republican Party has, oh, they're just fringe elements. No, that is the Republican Party. So when I make the statement, the Republican Party is just incompatible with democracy, this is the kind of stuff that I mean. Marjorie Taylor Greene's earlier statements is what I mean. The fact that the Republican Party was involved in multiple schemes to overturn the 2020 election should be enough. I mean, Josh Hawley. Is enough, right? Senator Josh Hawley and his weird remarks at CPAC, saying that we need a new what is it? I forget what he said. We need a new nationalism or something like that to that effect. So it's a repeat theme, and they're normalizing it. It's in the party. Yeah, and they're trying to normalize it. Like I said, and like I've been saying, it's all fun and games until the switch is flipped. It's all fun and games until the switch is flipped, and you find yourself in 1920s Germany. The Republican Party is slowly becoming more fringe in that its membership is shrinking over time, but they're retaining their grip on power all too well. Oh yeah, they're not interested in the whole democracy thing. They're interested in the power. That's it. Democratic norms be damned. I missed the Marjorie Taylor Greene one. Was it where she had that guy who harassed AOC on her so-called podcast? No, it's much worse. No, it's much worse. It's much worse. That's gross. Echo Rester Dragon, but it's so much worse. Here, I'll show it again, just for you. Where the heck is this video? Oh, look, she's like tripling down on it. Hell, I don't even need the video. Oh, holy yikes. Oh man, this just happened 54 minutes ago while we were streaming. Jesus. So here's the video in question. Nationalist isn't a bad word. It means you care about your country. No, it doesn't. Yeah, warning, barf bucket may be required. Here's her tripling down on the whole thing. So, to the folks who think I'm exaggerating, explain this shit. I'm being attacked by the godless left because I said that I'm a proud Christian nationalist. Yeah, it's kind of a problem. That's kind of a problem when we have a proud Christian nationalist. This is in line with the whole idea of Christian dominionism, yeah, this is bad news. The fact that there are elected representatives in Congress, who are proud Christian nationalists and who get applause. Like, never mind the fact that she said that. It's the applause that disturbs me, because the proper response should have been, what? Get out of here. Like, the proper response should have been like, get the fuck out of here. Not applause, okay? That's the most disturbing part, right? Because if you say, like, you're a Christian nationalist and all that, you should be immediately condemned, not applauded. And it's looking more and more like we are the current existing generation that will have directly confront fascism here. I don't see a say where we just electorally and passively deal with this. No such thing. No such thing. To the point where you have an intolerable element that can and will enforce a theocratic state, that can and will enforce a authoritarian theocratic state. No such thing as just only using electoralism, right? Only using electoralism isn't how this works. Electoralism is a tool that you should not leave on the table. But if you think that you're just going to passively deal with this while they gain steam, while they say things like this to an audience that will absolutely go out to bat for them, yeah, to think that you're going to passively deal with this would be naive. Yeah, no, she's not just like, it's not just that, Alio, is that she is an authoritarian fuck. And she can, and she will, put her boot down your throat if she has the opportunity. There goes at least pretending that there's still a separation between church and state. Oh, no such thing. Becky, there's no such thing. To these people, the Christian dominionists, believe that there is no such thing. I mean, you have Attorney William Barr said there's no such thing. I don't mean just electorally. I'm trying to be TOS friendly in my description. Well, yeah, I mean, like, I will agree with you in the sense that, like, when it comes to authoritarianism, when it's here, you gotta stamp it out. Well, they don't adhere to any of the tenets of Christianity then. Yeah, but, like, here's where we get into, like, the whole, like, debate about, like, well, clearly they found a home, and they think that this is the tenets of Christianity, so then I have to question, like, how we got here. But anyways, my point is, these people, these types of people, and worst of all, elected members of government out and about proudly saying this type of stuff, is bad news. These people can and will enforce a theocratic authoritarian state. People keep sleeping on this. In my opinion, people keep sleeping on this, and like Becky said, pretending that there are such things as norms. I would say is naive. Pretending that, oh yeah, there's a separation of church and state. No such thing. No such thing. Yeah, the godless left. Because their belief, because their belief is structured on cherry picking the Bible, which means they can essentially justify anything. Yeah, anything. Like, say, death camps. People think that's an exaggeration. It's not a slippery. It's not a fallacious slippery slope. It's not a fallacious slippery slope. We love Christian dominionism, don't we, folks? We love Christian dominionism, don't we, folks? Okay, we need the 7 mountains. We need to capture the 7 mountains. We need the 7 mountains of dominion. We need to capture. We need to seek and control the family, religion, education, the media, entertainment, business, and government. I've been surrounded by dominionists my whole life. They literally want to wipe out everyone that doesn't agree with them on everything. Correct. I'm not exaggerating, or I don't believe that I'm being alarmist when I say that it starts here. But you can't surprise Pikachu face when the death camps start happening. Should these people continue to get power, right? Should people like this gain power, like for real? You can't surprise Pikachu face when the death camps pop up. I'm just saying. So, that being said, these people need to get squashed now. These people need to get squashed now. Plain and simple. These people need to get squashed now. There is no room for this type of intolerance in our government. Basically, we need to do everything and anything within our tools, within the power that we have, within the tools that we have, within our power, within our purview, in the time that we have, to do what we can to prevent this. These evil people are calling me a Nazi because I proudly love my country and God. No, it's because you want you want a theocratic authoritarian state. That's what you want. That's the problem we're having with you. There's nothing alarmist about it. People like ACB are literal genocidal extremists. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Wasn't she like in a People of Praise? She was like in a freaking cult. Okay? She was in a freaking cult. Probably still is, or probably still has like remnants of that. The idea that this sounds alarmist. I don't think it's out of pocket. I don't think it's out of pocket when you see stuff like this to be like, the usual things that follow this always seem to end up in death camps. So you know what? Yeah, F these people. The reality is this should be sounding multiple alarm bells in people, and this should be like, nope. This needs to be nipped here. If you squash them, they're gonna go nuts. What, for them like being removed from power? I don't care. I don't think so. I don't think that you have to weigh the cause and effects. I was raised in a Rima style charismatic evangelism evangelicalism. This has been building. Highly recommend the YouTube channel Fundy Fridays to keep a track. Oh, yeah. In fact, I think he also made a mention of this, Becky. Because it's somehow like it joggles my memory. I've heard about this before. I've heard of this channel before. They did a profile on Marjorie already. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, and like the the language being used, cornbread. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Not alarmist, more like you're just very far ahead of the curve and early on because you're hyper aware of what's happening and know the historical trajectory these things take. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I was talking about I one of my first streams, or one of my earlier work, I should say, when I tried to do more more scripted streams. Like I used to have, because I wasn't originally like this, okay? I wasn't originally like this. Contrary to popular belief, and I've said this before, I'm basically an introvert playing the part of an extrovert. I don't like public speaking, and I am very I don't like public speaking, and I'm not good. This guy's capping, spit at him. Pepe spit. I'm not good at the whole public speaking thing, and it's more nerve-wracking than I like to do the whole thing, than I like to let on. So I used to try to do things in a scripted way where I could feel comfortable and just read off a script, or at least attempt to have a more formulated thing. But then I realized I'm not good at that either. Okay? So then I did the whole F it, we'll do it live. And I just kind of got better and better at it. But the TLDRs, one of my first more scripted versions of the stream was a history on fascism. And for the folks who study history and who understand how this happens, who understand the scenarios and kind of like relate and create parallels to this, alarm bells should be ringing. Weimar vibes. Hardcore Weimar vibes. Hardcore Weimar vibes. This sucks because there's no way to logic and reason the people out of this. They'll always have some way to tell themselves that what you're saying is a lie, or test from God, or Satan speaking through you. Yeah. A fake origin story. No, my origin story has always been the same, okay? Don't try me. Wait, you've been here for a lot of this, Mono. Don't give me that. Yeah, I need a small a small amount of followers. 100K, please. Yeah, Weimar, death throes of a republic. Yeah, something to that effect. The point is, it doesn't look good, and when people like this are telling you what they are, you should believe them. This is not good. This should be ringing multiple alarm bells, and this needs to be squashed. The fake origin strummed up to trick people into thinking you aren't bourgeois. The leftists will fall for your tricks, but I won't. So I follow your train of thought. Carlos, I'm a total extrovert, but I'm very conscious about how I come off, so I've hid behind scripted videos until now. I really like the Twitch streaming though. Yeah, the thing is, like, I realized that I'm also not good at doing the whole scripted thing either. So I kind of just fell into this, where I can chat with people and argue with people. Leftists see this clearly and acutely, but talking to apolitical normies about this, we sound crazy to them. Sometimes, depending on how you come at them, maybe. If you come at them too hard, it might seem that way, even though you're totally 100% correct. If you come at them too hard, yeah, it might seem that way. But if you show them, and lead them to that thought process naturally, I think you would have more success. Because, yeah, I didn't just start by saying, I believe, I believe the Republican Party is becoming way too comfortable with fascism. I didn't start that way. I make the illustrations and I lead people down that route by showing them simply. I don't have to do anything but use their words. I don't have to do a single thing but use their words. You don't have to do much but use their words, because they're getting way too comfortable to being open. I mean, like I said, you've got literal swastikas, swastika flags and SS flags literally flying in the outside of the TPUSA building. So you know what? I mean, images like that, words like this. Look at this. We're proud for you and we're praying for you. You're on the right side that will win. Oh boy. Okay. Twitter comments are getting spicy. Yeah, the reason why they're calling you a Nazi is because somebody pointed out, yeah, she was chilling with Nick Fuentes. Yeah. The only reason some of them don't already is that there's an agreement in place that the US will buy as long as they have exclusivity. Those guys... Yeah. Bad juju for sure. 100%. Yeah, the reason why people are calling you a Nazi is because you happen to hang out with Nazis like Nick Fuentes. That's why they call you a freaking Nazi. Okay? Yeah, super bad juju.
Over this past...
Let's check in with our very, very truly someone with integrity. Our very, very centrist journalist. Let's see if we get a comment on the whole Nazi shit. No? Oh, so we're talking about illegal immigrants, cool Trump stuff, Trump cool, conspiracy theory. Yeah, I thought so. Thanks, Tim. Did you read Desert yet? No. Dude, I'm a lefty. I don't read theory, okay? My grandma and grandpa were taken in by Germany by the Nazi. Yikes. Plus, that's cap. That is cap. I do read a lot. And our country fought them, and I live in Slovenia. Yeah, well, in 2022, you've got literal freaking Nazis marching in Florida. You got literal freaking fascists in different states having a little fascist march from the Patriot Front people. Yeah, they literally had like fascist symbolism from Italy. The actual fascist symbolism from Mussolini. Just straight up marching in different cities. That's true. All we do is read theory. NS131 did some shit recently at a uni. I don't know who that is, but I assume that they're like Nazis. So yeah. Anyways, I think I've sufficiently laid out the argument. I've beaten this argument to death at this point, right? Can we all just kind of like understand the severity of the situation, and can we all agree that the Republican Party is just incompatible with democracy? The Republican Party is just incapable of adhering to any type of democratic norms, whatever semblance of that is here, whatever facade or semblance or threat of that is here. Can we just all like understand really the severity of the situation and just understand that the Republican Party, like, say what you will about the Democratic Party, and trust me, there is a laundry list of things that we can bop them over the head with, right? Sure. Say what you will about the Democrats, cringe, not good, whatever. We're dealing with a whole other beast here. We're dealing with a whole other scenario. We're dealing with a whole other level that I argue warrants our attention. Thinking that this isn't as big of a problem, or thinking that, oh, well, you know, man, no. This is a bigger threat. I sent you the news clip about the neo-Nazi group in the neighborhood of Jamaica Plain in Massachusetts. Yeah, they're in different cities and different states, out and about. All these identitarian groups are out and about. And listen, like I said, at this point, I think I've beaten this argument to death, where conservatism, the Republican Party, at least here in the U.S., is just incompatible with democracy. Yeah, 100%. They're literally incompatible with society, with any semblance of democracy, even BS half-assed representative democracy. Yep. A lady asked Dr. Franken, well, doctor, well, we got a republic or a monarchy? He's like, a republic if you can keep it. Yeah. So, like, the idea that, you know, we have elected officials saying stuff like this, it should be ringing all the alarm bells, should be raising all the red flags now, because this needs to be stopped now. This needs to be stopped now. Like I said, say what you will about the Dems. Dems cringe. Dems are cringe, and Dems are feckless, and Dems are whatever. But I'm sorry. This is on a whole other level. We're dealing with a different. We're dealing with a threat that is very real, and very possible. They want theofascism, and we need to call it. I like that, theofascism. I mean, I've heard Christofascism, but I like theofascist. I like theofascist. I think we're gonna. I think I'm gonna steal that one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna steal that, theofascist. I like that. Anyways, I've beaten. I hope I've beaten this argument to death. And I hope people understand the severity of the issue. I'm just saying, like, yeah, any fascism is bad no matter how it's dressed up. Yeah, that's true. It's just that this here is the flavor that we're dealing with, whatever you want to call it. All right, folks. It is time for me to go. Yeah, Christofascism, theofascism, dominionism, all looks... Yeah, exactly. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's all the same to me. Christofascism sounds too much like cryptofash. Yeah, there's nothing crypto about these folks. They're pretty open about it. They're pretty open about it. So I don't know. I like theofash. That's going to be the new term. Take care. Cool to catch you. Appreciate it. And appreciate you bringing level head, which, by the way, I took a quick peek. And it looks like they're actually a streamer themselves. So why don't we give a quick shout out? All right, a couple of shout outs to the folks in chat. Twitch.tv/ suggested they raid you. Well, I appreciate that. They're a solid streamer. Well, I appreciate that. I just took a peek. I didn't even know. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate that. Woo! Couple of folks here. Carpet Packs. Make sure you follow. All right. These are all wonderful folks that you should all be supporting. Go show them some love, all right? And, of course, please go follow Becky. She does fantastic work. She does so much tirelessly to work on the Beckosphere Climate Corner and the podcast that she does daily. So go ahead and go show them some love, all right? Yeah, that's right. Carpet Cat. Nice. I like that. And of course, if you guys enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button over here. All right? You get 5 free emotes. Don't forget to join the Discord. Hey, $27 emote. Nice. Don't forget to follow, join us, do the YouTubes. Yeah. You get 5 free emotes, including Bakita the cat. Alright. Do the YouTubes. It takes 5 seconds. It does help us out. Spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us for Saturday Catterdays, although we might be switching to Sundays, so join the Discord. Sundays around noon Eastern Time. It seems to be like a better a better time. So we'll see. Love it. David has good emotes. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Appreciate the Beckosphere. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs, all the biddies, and all that. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you so much, Zeoduke. I appreciate that. Again, go follow, do the thing, do the YouTubes. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. Oh, by the way, Becky, if you're still here, I need to remind me to contact, because we have to get together and do a crossover. We have to do a crossover. I've been meaning to work on that. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya. Agreed. Yes. Look out, folks. Crossover happening soon. See ya.